As daybreak trickled through the window, Kody Brown sipped tea in the gentle light of her Salt Lake City kitchen. For the first time in many years, the silence was serene. However, she had discovered that calm usually follows a storm. Kody had been silent for so long, although the tension, uneasiness, and hollow stares across the dinner table were captured on video by sister wives. The reality was much more complex than what TLC ever showed. It had nothing to do with jealousy. It has nothing to do with many marriages. It was about not being wanted. In a hushed, sad voice, Kody would later tell a podcast, "It's not that we stopped being intimate. The problem is that it was never truly there. Not in the manner you believe, not how love ought to be." She remembered the early days, the anxious expectation, the optimistic nights, and the conviction that a spiritual marriage would blossom into passion and collaboration. However, Kody Brown had remained aloof and preoccupied, even when they were younger. His affections were erratic, and his attention was dispersed. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Sister Wives News Update. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. That separation solidified when Robyn joined the family years ago. Kody had ceased requesting connection. The rejection was too painful for her. Not because she didn't need it. He no longer visited my room. He gave up trying. He claimed that I wasn't acting like a good sister wife when I questioned why. Something inside of me was broken by that. In addition to hurting her pride, the rejection destroyed her feeling of value. In addition to decades of devotion and innumerable sacrifices, she had given him 6 children. She stated, "I didn't leave Kody for another man. I realized I was all alone in a full house, so I left." The people came together in support of Kody. Social media was flooded with compliments. Her Instagram was inundated with encouraging and supportive messages from her fans. Once the head of a spiritual empire, Kody Brown, however, was in free fall. He paced wildly in his and Robyn's opulent Flagstaff house. "They're all betraying me," he growled in an unreleased confessional video. "Kody is misrepresenting our connection. Janelle is attempting to turn the children against me. Mary is just waiting for a book deal to come up. My money is what they desire. This is exactly what it is." Kody's paranoia started to creep in. According to TLC executives, he began to decline one-on-one filming sessions.
In a favorable light. He allegedly threatened to sue the network if his story was distorted, wanted more editorial control, and asked the ex-wives to do fewer interviews. He began accusing Kody of planning a public smear campaign, even going so far as to say that she had financial motivations. "She is attempting to harm my reputation because she has a new boyfriend. She desires pity," he yelled. "She wants to profit from victimization." In actuality, though, Kody was disintegrating his universe, which had been meticulously constructed around his dominance and the appearance of harmony, was falling apart. Even worse, he was no longer able to prevent it. Kody was no longer the only one who spoke up. Mary and Janelle broke their long-standing quiet by going live on social media together in a daring move that nobody saw coming. Coffee mugs in hand, they were sitting in the Arizona sun on Janelle's patio. The energy was tremendous, but their looks were serene. Janelle started, "We remained silent for years, but now Kody says we're after his money. It's a joke." Everything was filtered through Robyn by him. Mary gave a nod. "In order to support the family's vision, I sacrificed 10 years of financial independence. Now he complains that we're attempting to take what little he has left, and I'm starting over." The actual punch then arrived. Janelle produced a hefty stack of photocopies in a manila folder. These are the Coyote Pass properties titles. "Kody, would you like to discuss money? Let's discuss how you currently only own one of those plots." The video became viral. Every phrase and every legal line was analyzed by supporters and admirers. The truth was out. Robyn was the primary beneficiary of Kody's asset transfers, which left his other spouses with next to nothing. Now, however, he was accusing them of desiring what he had already taken. In the face of accountability, Robyn Brown sat in the center of the storm, feeling alone, nervous, and suffocated by her own quiet. The last component of Kody's vision of a monogamous spiritual kingdom masquerading as multiple marriage, she had previously been the preferred wife and the legal wife. Now, though, in a collapsed empire, she was the last surviving wife. Robyn apparently started to lose it off-camera. She was sobbing in between parts, according to crew workers who asked executives whether her confessional moments could be reshot or softened. She sobbed during one session. "This isn't what I signed up for." He is fixated on them, not with affection, but with authority, with demonstrating their
keep her own financial records in private. There were rumors that she had found other hidden accounts that Kody had created and used to transfer funds without her awareness. According to reports, she told a family friend, "I don't know who he is anymore. He ignores what I have to say. I'm invisible to him. He simply becomes angry." Robyn started thinking about what life may be like without Kody for the first time in years. However, she was aware that she was the last thing keeping him from going bankrupt because she was the lawful wife. He was also aware of it. Christine's life flourished while Kody's world broke apart. Christine married David Woolley, a construction businessman she had been discreetly dating for more than a year, in a beautiful private wedding in Utah. Truly, who escorted her mother down the aisle, was among the 6 of her children there. Janelle took a seat at the front. Mary wrote a letter by hand. Even Mikkel T. and Aspen expressed their emotions about how it felt to see their mother loved and cherished at last. No cameras, not a producer, only family and recovery. After the wedding, Christine told People magazine, "I waited years for someone to truly choose me. Don't put up with me. Don't share me. Pick me." Christine hesitated when questioned about Kody's remarks on betrayal, money, and manipulation. Then she grinned. "The money is his to keep. I maintain my honor." Sister Wives' 20th season will be the show's last, with Kody Brown as the main character, according to TLC insiders. They claim that the show is changing its name to highlight the ex-wife's recovery processes, including Christine's second marriage, Janelle's self-reliance, Mary's business empire, and even the children entering maturity. What about Kody? He is still in Flagstaff, resentful, lonely, and frantically attempting to manage a story that has already escaped his grasp. In one of his last confessions, he said, "They were never sister wives. They were rebels, and the reality was only visible to me." A testament to unfulfilled promises, the Flagstaff house stood dormant, with money strewn all over the table. Kody Brown sat on the edge of his enormous sofa and muttered to himself. Robyn had spent the weekend with her sister, not on vacation, but just to give them some space. He snarled, "I gave them everything. They stole everything, and I'm the bad guy now." A fresh letter from TLC caught his attention. It was cold.
Renegotiating his contract, Kody will no longer have his own storyline. The emphasis had changed, and there were no more patriarch moments. A new film with the preliminary title Sister Wives Reclaimed was being approached for Christine, Janelle, and even Mary. The paper was torn in half by him, then in quarters. Robyn came home Sunday night to find Kody dozing off on the couch, a half-finished bottle of wine open on the counter, and unpaid property tax invoices strewn all over the floor. She had returned home to that scene 4 times in the last 2 weeks. However, she didn't tidy up this time. Rather, she unlocked a drawer at her home office. Files she had concealed were found there, including property deeds, records from their joint accounts, and a letter from her lawyer buddy, whom she had discreetly consulted weeks before. The records were devastating. Kody had started transferring funds from Robyn's legal trust account to a personal limited liability company, LLC, that he had set up under a false identity. What's the name? C. Brown Holdings. For a few minutes, Robyn sat motionless, her stomach constricted and her breathing shallow. She muttered out loud, "He's not protecting us. He is defending himself." Kody hardly batted an eye when she approached him later that evening. "I must," he whispered. "After that new show airs, do you think Christine and Janelle won't sue me? You have no idea what these women are thinking. They are wolves disguised as women." However, Robyn's voice trembled as she answered, terrified. "They are not the ones who deceived their spouses." Janelle Brown, meantime, was doing very well. She had left the trailer she had occupied at Coyote Pass for a comfortable, contemporary townhouse in St. George, Utah. She started Desert Roots Wellness, a women's health coaching company that emphasizes independence, mental toughness, and ending toxic relationships. With the assistance of her daughter, Maddie, and son, Gabriel, online, the business took off. In just 3 months, her From Sister Wife to Self-Wife TikTok series amassed over 3 million fans. However, Janelle's publication of a video titled "The Truth About Our Finances" was the true surprise. Kody made choices without consulting us. Robyn didn't challenge them, and we covered the cost. She stated firmly, "We now have the opportunity to recover not only the money that was taken, but also our freedom." Janelle's openness touched a cultural tender spot. She received invitations to discussion shows during the day, podcasts, conferences for women. She was writing a book about recovering from spiritual betrayal, not about Kody. Mary had been the quiet one for a long time. However, it is no longer the case. She wore a simple teal outfit, spoke calmly, and sat across from a therapist in a gorgeous Sedona resort during the premiere of Sister Wives Reclaimed. "I believed that God would reward me for persevering, so I stayed. However, that isn't faith. That's fear."
Her new venture, a women's empowerment B&B resort in Utah called the Lotus Inn, was completely booked. Her sincerity, gentle wisdom, and capacity to sit with grief and not turn away were all lauded in reviews. Mary disclosed that she had made amends with Christine and Janelle after having private conversations with them. However, when she read a letter she had never sent in episode 2, it was the most impactful moment. "Greetings, Kody. I pardon you, but I'm not going back. What you gave us was control dressed in scripture, not love. You never really saw me, and I've come to terms with that. Now I see myself. That's sufficient." TLC executives made a daring choice as the Sister Wives universe developed. Kody and Robyn would be the final main stars in Season 20. Rather, Mary, Janelle, and Christine would serve as the hosts of their own documentary series, Sister Wives Reclaimed, From Broken Faith to Fierce Freedom. Following their divorce, the show would follow their lives, including Mary's retreat center, Janelle's business empire, and Christine's mixed family with David. TLC executives privately claimed that Kody had turned into a liability. Filming was impossible due to his unpredictable conduct, threats of legal action, and increasing contempt for production. Kody exploded when he learned about the transfer. "The legacy I created is being destroyed." Even Robyn had ceased standing up for him by that point, though in a chilly, silent moment captured on camera, she said to him, "You built the house of cards, and you're upset that it fell." In the last scene in the teaser for the new series, Christine is shown holding her granddaughter on her hip while standing in her garden wearing a flowing dress. She gives the camera a quiet smile. "All those years, people asked me if I regret it. I don't, since they brought me here to this tranquility, to this delight. And if one woman is able to leave a man who makes her feel inferior because she speaks up, then it was worth every tear I shed for Kody Brown." Kody Brown is reportedly trying to sell his own redemption show, but no networks are interested. He is currently living off residuals. Robyn Brown is reportedly considering a divorce and has discreetly hired her own lawyer. Mary, Janelle, and Christine are all living strong, independent lives that are at last being recognized and liberated. When Christine's phone buzzed, it was a name she hadn't seen in months, and she was wrapping up an early evening Zoom with TLC producers. Robyn Brown. Christine's breath caught as she gazed at the TV.
She trusted her instincts. However, kindness and curiosity prevailed. She pressed open. "Hey, Christine. I understand that you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need to talk to someone who can relate. Don't tell Kody, please." A voice memo was attached. Christine paused, then pressed play. Robyn didn't sound like the assertive lady she recalled. Her voice was meek and thin. "I believed I had been selected. I believed that he loved me more than he loved you. I was mistaken. Now I realize he took advantage of us all. He's lost. Furious, when he feels surrounded, he becomes dangerous. Don't let him take everything away from you, please. He has plans involving that new LLC. He's not who he used to be." After the audio ended, Christine sat motionless for a long time. Not in victory, not to exact revenge, but in heartache, because Robyn continued to seek for permission to wake up. Even now, only a few weeks prior to Sister Wives Reclaim's premiere, Kody Brown made his last-ditch effort. He formally sued TLC and Discovery Plus after hiring a combative entertainment lawyer in Phoenix, alleging character slander, implied contract violation. His image was used without permission to promote the ex-wife's spin-off. The complaint sought a public retraction of remarks he said were scripted by producers to villainize him, as well as $10 million in damages. The network's reaction: with prejudice, they petitioned for dismissal. According to TLC internal documents that were stolen by a production assistant, Kody had willingly agreed to appearance waivers and had received hefty compensation for doing so throughout the years. One legal representative joked, "You can't be the victim and the executive producer at the same time." TLC had already started working on a comprehensive legal defense behind the scenes, including dozens of unutilized video that depicted Kody's tantrums, threats of money, and emotional manipulation. They even threatened to show the video in court. Kody was taken aback. He had believed that he was invincible. At last, however, the network had ceased to defend him. When Robyn Brown, once known to fans as Mariah, announced a book contract with a major publisher, it sent shockwaves through the industry. What is the title of the book? Unraveled: Growing Up Brown in a World Built on Secrets. Leon wrote the following in the explosive passage that the cut published. "People only saw half the truth on TV. What scared us were the real things, the icy silences, the penalties for disobedience, and the way our dreams were filtered through a father's will. I saw my mom plead for affection. I saw Mom crying tears for everything. It felt like we were always stuck
Christine
and
surrendered her
conquering
physical
fear.
form to a man who never noticed her spirit. I saw Janelle turn invisible in order to live. I also remained silent for too long." Kody threatened to sue Leon and the publisher in an attempt to stop the publication. However, Leon's attorneys wrote back in a damning open letter. The truth is not under Kody Brown's control. All he fears is it. In public declarations, Christine and Janelle expressed their support for Leon, stating that they were proud beyond words and standing behind him in truth and courage. Surprisingly, Robyn even liked the post. The Coyote Pass hearing followed due to public interest. What began as a regular hearing to settle property taxes escalated into a full-fledged courtroom drama that was broadcast on local Arizona media. Unplanned but meaningful, Janelle, Mary, and Christine showed up wearing white tops, denim, and composed expressions. They were prepared. Kody came by himself. According to the argument put up by his legal team, the women had abandoned interest in the land and were thus not entitled to any portion of its future worth. However, the blow was delivered by Christine's lawyer, who was incisive, straightforward, and unflinching. "Your Honor, we have emails, texts, and even production documents that show Kody promised equal ownership, then did it behind their backs by manipulating titles and using shell transfers." When a recording of a phone conversation between Robyn and Kody was played, the courtroom gasped. "The others cannot touch the land if I put it in your name. We now own it. Allow them to weep." The judge was clearly taken aback. In the ultimate decision, back payments and partial ownership rights were granted to Janelle and Christine. Robyn was directed to make financial records available. Kody received a fine for making false transfers. Christine was spotted sobbing quietly following the judgment, not with malice, but because at last justice had arrived. TLC approved the two-part program immediately following the new series finale. The Brown Family Reckoning will premiere. It includes court transcripts, unreleased video, and heartfelt reunion interviews, including a long-awaited meeting between Christine and Robyn. In the interim, a family YouTube channel about blended families and healing has been started by Christine and David. Janelle is investing in a single-mother land cooperative. The National Domestic Empowerment Summit has extended an invitation to Mary to speak. A documentary is being made based on Leon's book. Insiders claim that Robyn is getting ready to leave Flagstaff permanently. With fewer supporters, fewer resources, and an increasing number of bridges burnt, Kody is now a very alone person. Sister Wives reclaims final scene softly fades in Utah. Christine, Janelle, and Mary are sitting on a porch swing. A sunset illuminates the red sandstone mountains behind them. People are laughing. T. Not a man, not a script, just tranquility.
On the camera,
Christine's
we believe
gaze-
that heartbreak was the end of our story. However, it didn't stop there. It was only the beginning. It might investigate Robyn abandoning Kody. Leon's documentary addresses trauma experienced as a child, Kody's public decline, and Desperation podcast, an unexpected announcement of a TLC relaunch that exclusively includes the kids, and there's more. Sister Wives star Kody Brown was candid about the reasons for the failure of his marriages to Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and Mary Brown. He was only in an exclusive relationship with Robyn Brown, his only surviving wife after his first 3 marriages ended between 2021 and 2023. Kody is currently concentrating on getting over his 3 divorces and going on with his life. Kody came to the realization that he no longer wanted to pursue polygamy in Sister Wives season 19. Robyn, however, stated that if there were assurances of future success, she would be open to attempting polygamy once more. Janelle Brown is addressing her sexual life. The TLC star addressed rumors about her sexual orientation almost 3 years after splitting from Kody Brown, telling Sister Wives, "I promise you I'm not asexual," said Saka Krishnan, the special one-on-one host on the June 15th episode. Janelle stated, "Everyone has this idea that I was asexual just because I didn't want to have assembly line kisses with Kody or whatever. It's so wild to me that everybody has assumed." The 56-year-old continued by saying that the reality is very different. "The hormones are hell when you're single," she joked. "I'm a very sexual being, and for that reason, sex will be a big part of her next relationship. I suspect that someday down the road, if there's somebody else, then that will be part of it," said Janelle. "I'm a Taurus, and I'm a very earth mama. Everything earthy. Food, wine, sex, all of it." She and Kody have children together. Logan Brown, 31, Madison Brush, 29, Hunter Brown, 28, the late Garrison Brown, 25, Gabriel Brown, 23, and Savannah Brown, 20. However, it doesn't mean their sexual life was boring. On an episode of Sister Wives in 2023, Janelle hinted that there was definitely physical compatibility, adding that everything was very good in that department. However, their 30-year spiritual marriage finally failed, and in December 2022, the couple announced their separation. Janelle blamed the breakup on Kody's strict regulations for their kids and his alleged favoritism of his 4th wife, Robyn Brown. "If he had truly been watching out for me and my children," Janelle stated, "he would have figured out a way to make it work for the whole family, instead of having his rules and hanging out with the wife, staying where he was respected and obeyed." Shortly after their 1990 vows, Kody Brown declared he was prepared to separate from his first wife, Mary Brown. However, Mary said in the September 15th premiere that he led me to believe that he would work on things by saying, "Oh, Mary, when we move to Flagstaff, this will be a good time to have a new beginning for us," alluding to their 2018 relocation, as if he had convinced me of those things. He has been doing this for a very long time. Her primary complaint, she stated, is his lack of communication and how he really felt and what he really wanted or what he really didn't want, and the story that he's been telling for all these years. Also, Kody admitted that there might have been mixed messages, but only because he added, "I'm like, why would I do this? When he began to work on things, I would not court and date her now." In any case, when Mary finally pulled the plug in early 2023, her pals were ecstatic. They say, "All right, we're backing you in here for you." Additionally, it's about darn time, she admitted, because if he can push me out and I leave, he's not the bad guy because he didn't walk away. She says, implying that he had been trying to get her to leave him for years by claiming he didn't love her. In the season premiere, Kody said that he was prepared to let the idea die years after the family had bought the 14-acre plot of land in Flagstaff, Arizona, on which they intended to build. Unable to construct without paying the entire $820,000 price tag, which the family allegedly did in 2023. He said to Robyn Brown, his surviving wife, "I'd almost
sell
rather
it and then just start again somewhere else." "I can't talk about that," she said, in reference to Robyn. "That is so not where I'm at." Janelle Brown, the second wife, previously told News that we just kind of started to grow apart, but in the end, she left because of Kody's shortcomings as a dad to several of his children. The mom told Logan Brown, Madison Brown Brush, Hunter Brown, Garrison Brown, Gabriel Brown, and Savannah Brown. "The big spark for me was when his relationship broke down with my children, and he didn't seem like he would move heaven and earth to fix it, and I thought, okay, that was what was really holding me here." Janelle refused to entertain the possibility of reconciliation, even when Kody brought it up in the November 3rd episode. "I don't know how I would ever reconcile with him and have him not have a relationship with my kids," she stated. "No, I'm going to always choose my kids." That was Kody's justification for not trying harder to patch up the problems he was having with some of his grown children. "I don't fit in the family anymore," he complained in the episode that aired on September 15th. "And then I have some relationship with some of the other kids, and it's infrequent," he said, explaining that he was still totally married to Robyn and raising their 5 children together: Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, and Ariella Brown. "What should I do with all of this?" I asked myself. "It's not a family-like atmosphere. We're probably doing the worst we've ever done in our marriage," Robyn admitted in the season 19 premiere, even though they were being totally monogamous for the first time in their 14-year marriage. "Between us, things have been difficult. He isn't sure if he or one of the other women is to blame. Are you going to reject me too? Kody seems to be gazing at me because he's experiencing a lot of rejection." She consequently disclosed, "I'm on my toes. I have to constantly check to make sure he isn't ruining our connection. There's no resource to help with the idea that I'm still married to a man who's going through divorces," she said, summarizing the most difficult aspect. "I can't look myself in the mirror and say, 'Hey, dude,'" Kody shared, expressing a crisis of confidence. "I cherish you." Seeing her former sister wives enjoy their new era was difficult for Robyn. "They're all moving on," she said on the episode that aired on October 27th. "I feel like the idiot that got left behind." A major turning point in the life of Sister Wife star Janelle Brown occurred in 2022 when she ended her 29 years spiritual marriage to polygamist Kody Brown. Kody's emotional neglect and his tense interactions with their 6 children, Logan, Madison, Hunter, Garrison, Gabriel, and Savannah Brown, were the main causes of her choice to leave. Janelle, who appreciated her autonomy in the polygamous system, believed that Kody's preference for Robyn, his 4th wife, and his lack of involvement with her family rendered the marriage unworkable. Kody was left with only Robyn Brown when Christine Brown left in 2021 and before Mary Brown left in 2023. Janelle's ties with her former sister wives changed after she left Kody. Because of their shared experiences and Christine's role in raising Janelle's kids, the Sister Wives Season 19 star and Christine's relationship grew stronger as they helped one another through their separations. However, their intimacy has been hampered by their physical separation. Christine is from Utah, and Janelle is from North Carolina. Janelle has complex and aloof relationships with Robyn and Mary. Janelle has focused on fostering her relationships with her girlfriends since she was split from her sister wives. To find out more about Janelle's social network, continue reading. Given their lack of intimacy throughout their joint marriage to Kody, Janelle and Christine's strengthened friendship is especially remarkable. The divide between the two women was exacerbated by their disparate personalities, which were emphasized in Sister Wives Season 19. Janelle is rational and stoic, while Christine is motivated by emotion. Janelle's realistic outlook contrasted with Christine's amorous disposition. As Kody's most jealous wife, Christine battled envy, while Janelle, who was the least envious, respected her freedom and enjoyed Kody's occasional absence. Christine, meanwhile, frequently felt ignored and neglected by his sporadic focus. There was no greater contrast between the two women. Their disparate lives were a major contributing factor to Janelle and Christine's lack of intimacy during their marriages to Kody. The Brown family relied on Janelle as their primary provider, although she was frequently away at work. On the other hand, while the other adults were at work, Christine accepted the job of stay-at-home mother and assumed primary responsibility for raising the Brown children. It took a lot of money to support such a large family, which kept Janelle busy. The two ladies seldom ever spent time together due to their differing personalities, which further hindered the Sister Wives Season 19 stars' ability to develop a close relationship. Janelle and Christine developed a closer bond after splitting from Kody, spending the holidays with their kids. The Sister Wives Season 19 cast members continued to be close even though they now live far apart. Christine gave Janelle continuous support when she had to deal with the tragic death of her 25-year-old son, Garrison Brown. The strong bond between Janelle and Christine, which is based on shared experiences and concern for one another, endures despite time and space, demonstrating a deep connection that never dies.
Strained and aloof
Robyn
relationship,
and Janelle.
whereas Janelle and Mary have a friendly one. Robyn rarely sees Janelle, who split from Kody in 2022, preferring to concentrate on her family and independence. Janelle feels that Robyn and Kody abused her kids during the COVID-19 epidemic, which is the root of their tense relationship. Kody and his fourth wife ended up severing touch with some of the older children because they were so stringent about viral mitigation. Robyn hoped that Kody and Janelle would be able to get back together, but it appears that ship has sailed. Robyn's problems with Janelle were made worse by her erratic storytelling during Sister Wives Season 19, which undermined family trust. She frequently made matters worse by trying to resolve Kody's tense relationships with his adult children, especially with Janelle's and Christine's children. There was a lot of anger among Kody's older children, since they frequently believed Robyn's children were given preferential treatment by their father. By 2025, Robyn is still Kody's only wife and leads a monogamous existence after Mary, Janelle, and Christine have all left him. Janelle was a member of a large clan while she and Kody were still married. There was never a lack of people surrounding Kody, who, at his height, had 4 wives and 18 children. The multiple lifestyle was abandoned by Janelle when she left Kody. Janelle liked polygamy more than her sister wives did. It was difficult for her to go because she enjoyed the way of life. Janelle has had to establish new social ties with people outside of her former family. The Sister Wives Season 19 star has been hanging out with her girlfriends more and more lately. Let us know in your comments and stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks, everyone.